And now please welcome our Zones 33 and 34 Rotary International Director, Patrick Eakes.
Thanks, Andy, for that great introduction, and good afternoon and good evening to everyone. We're really glad you're here with us tonight. Your being here means you care about growing Rotary, and that's something we all have in common. Tonight's webinar is a special one. It's the final Membership Action Plan, or MAP, webinar of the 2024-2025 Rotary year. And it also marks 3 full years of monthly MAP webinars, each one created to give club and district leaders tools and strategies that actually work to grow membership. And here's what makes these webinars different. Most of the time, you're hearing directly from fellow club leaders, people who've already tried these ideas, made adjustments, and seen results. That's why we like to say MAP is by Rotarians for Rotarians. The ideas we share are quick, practical, and easy to try out. And when you take action with your club, even just small steps, you're building steady, long-term growth. That's really what MAP is all about: consistent, moderate growth. Now, in addition to the webinars, our MAP team also created something called the Membership Success Center, or MSC. It gives you access to almost real-time membership data for your club, historical trends that will help you understand the areas where your club can improve, a helpful annual survey tool, tips for keeping members engaged, and proven methods to attract new members. It's a great resource, and we want you to take advantage of it. Another evolution from the MAP team is the newest edition of the North American Club Creation Team. It's focused on starting new clubs, including standalone, companion, Rotaract, and other innovative models. We'll have more to say about this effort later, but let me just say that our zones continue to lead North America when it comes to growing membership. You are all a part of that very special group that receives innovation, evolution, and revolution from our MAP leaders. Right now, about 200 of you join us live every month, and about 250 more watch the recordings. That's awesome. But with nearly 1,800 Rotary clubs in Zones 33 and 34, and 3 key membership leaders in each one, we know we've got room to grow. So that's where you come in. Help us spread the word about the value of our Membership Action Plan. The rest of the world sees the value of these webinars and the Membership Success Center, but the majority of our club leaders don't know about this amazing program. So please help us spread the word, especially about the benefits that this program provides. For just 45 minutes a month, club leaders can pick up real, actionable strategies to grow and strengthen their clubs. And that's worth the time. So why is membership growth such a big deal? Because when your club grows, everything we love about Rotary gets better. Your service projects have more hands and more impact. Your giving to the Rotary Foundation increases and goes further. And there are more connections, more energy, and more fun. Healthy, growing clubs are the backbone of Rotary. Now, as Andy mentioned, tonight's program is a little different. We've pulled together the best segments from this year's webinars. Think of it as our greatest hits of 2024-2025. After these highlights, a few of us will be back on screen to take your questions. And hey, any greatest hits collection needs a great DJ. So let's bring him in. Please welcome MAP team member, incoming Zone 33 Rotary Membership Coordinator, and tonight's guest DJ, Chris Justice.
All right. Thanks so much, Patrick. All right. So I got to try to get into character and work my best old school DJ voice. All right. Welcome to this year's Clip Countdown, where we play the top hits from the MAP year 2024-2025. As we wind down this Rotary year and look forward to the next, it's a good time to reinforce some of the top moments from this past year's amazing shows. You are going to see some catchy clips and some useful tips. We hope your planning catches fire as you hear these words to inspire. Now, off to the countdown. Rotary Top 40. This is the Rotary Top 40, where we count down the top hits of the Rotary year 24-25. Picking up the countdown at number 10. This artist is no stranger to the countdown. Formerly of the band Roxette, Herb Klontz is now exploring life as a solo artist. From the album Survey, this is Listen to Your Members. Number 10.
One of the most important things that leadership in a club, in a growing club, can do is to listen. Listen to their members. And there's lots of ways to listen to your members. And one of them is through surveying your members. If you've got a medium or a large size club, that's a great way to learn more. And Rotary has a survey to help understand your members' interests. They also have a survey called a Rotary Club Health Check, which is another great way to take an inward look at your club. But to me, the most important time to learn about our members' interests and priorities is when they join your club. When they join your club, we have a golden opportunity to learn what are their interests.
Moving on to number 9. Pop sensation Terry Weaver vaults up the charts with his smash hit, Gotta Be Starting Something. Number 9.
You know, Rotary Club is a whole lot like a business, and a business realizes that they need to start at the beginning of their year, usually January, and they need to be attracting customers every month because they know they're going to lose some. What did all those different businesses and industries have in common that know their loss rates, they know their attrition rates? They got over it. They figured out that attract new customers, or in the case of trade associations, new members every month of the year. Likewise, the idea of attracting as many members as you need in August, my Rotary Club is a large Rotary Club like Kurt's, and we need about 45 new members in a year to meet our growth goals and also our replacement, and that'd be tough to do in the month of August. I also mentioned that in almost every club, we see clubs that need 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 15, 20 members. You've got to start that early in the year, and you've got to attract members every month.
Our next band is in the middle of their 2025 concert tour and can be seen in cities all over the country. At number 8, with their ballad, Getting to Know You, this is Sawyer Kellen. Number 8.
If at some point a new member is expected to attend regular meetings, we need to always be mindful of what it takes to create not just an average club meeting, but an enjoyable one,
including lunch.
And how about having a greeter? A warm welcome can set the tone for the entire meeting. Think of how a guest or a visitor might feel when they first walk into your meeting. First impressions matter. How about a new member or one that's been coming for multiple years? It's nice to see that smiling face and a warm hello. Maybe have a new member serve as the greeter. What a great way for them to interact and get to know the club members.
At number 7, we have an emerging artist making her countdown debut. As the lead for her band, Lisa and the Club Jam, she's seen success in both the public image and membership genres. She's in the top 10 this year. Here's Lisa Hazlitt with Looking for Friends in All the Right Places. Number 7.
I had the pleasure of sitting next to Rotary International President Stephanie Urchik at our foundation banquet. And if you ask President Stephanie why she joined Rotary for friendship. So we have a social membership so that those folks that are looking for friendship, they can join as a social member. Now, what we have found that happens is while they join for the social activities, while they're participating in those social activities, they learn more about the impact that we're having and the service projects. And then they start to recognize that, hey, I can hang out with my friends and build a ramp on this person's home, or serve dinner to the homeless, or work at a mobile market. So we have really been very successful in turning our service projects and our community projects into connection and networking opportunities.
About to embark on her summer tour, folk artist Brandy Phillips Brandon is in at number 6 with her ode to leadership. Here's leadership joy. Number 6.
When joy is at the center of our leadership, people want to be a part of what we're building. And then, almost as a side effect, we're growing our membership. Remember that your words matter. When you go into meetings, when you go to district events, and you sigh and complain or act like it's such a burden, people notice that and they don't want to join. It is a privilege to serve. It's not a burden. So remember to keep it happy, choose joy, keep it fun.
Breaking into the top 5 this year, it's Patrick Eakes and Connolly Smith, who make up the group Crescent Pittsboro Revival. This is their orientation anthem, Onboarding Away. Number 5.
We lose 50% of new members in the first 3 years. Yes, you heard that right. We lose half of our new members in their first 3 years of membership. That's why we must have effective onboarding of our new members.
These orientations were intentionally conversational. We wanted our new members to talk to us, to hear what got them excited about being in Rotary. So from listening, we could better plug in these new members to what they wanted their Rotary experience to be. Part of our new member orientation does include an overview of all of our club's committees, but remember everyone, this is not a set and get. We were encouraging conversation, and to do that, we had some visual aids to help move the conversation along. We had the new member handbook, and we encouraged them to take a look at the club committee page. You'll see on the screen an example of this. We also had a rolling slide presentation with pictures of all of our service projects and some of our signature programs. So by seeing what we were doing and what we could offer them, they could speak up and tell us what they liked. So from there, we'd encourage them to rank their top 3 committees, and then we'd set up an introduction to those selected committee chairs.
Dan Bone comes in at number 4 with his hit off the soundtrack from the Disney movie Mary and the Scotsman. This is Be Our Guest. Number 4.
No, our goal is to get 10 guests per meeting. We've actually been way north of that at times, and we've been south of that many times as well. But we knew that if we had 10 guests, we'd done the research, we get 10 guests to a meeting, we're going to be growing the club. And so it was a hard rule to get to 10 for us, and we really stressed that to the members. But there were weeks when we didn't, and there were weeks when we were above that. So it's really just a reminder from the podium and from the pulpit, if you will, that we want to grow the club, and they need to bring people just like them, right? We need more people.
Now it's time for our long distance dedication. Patrick Langano writes, Dear Chris, I've got so many friends and colleagues who could be Rotarians, but they don't have the opportunity because of their job requirements. Many of them really want to serve, but just can't because there aren't any opportunities available to them. This really makes me sad. One of my good friends is in this situation, and I really want to help. Could you please play Crazy for Companion Clubs by Albert Blackman and the Funky Bunch? Of course, Patrick. Here is your long distance dedication and our number 3 for the year. Number 3.
I am crazy and want to take on these type of crazy tasks. But it was quite easy because the demand was there. We've got people who did not want to meet during lunch because it was interfering with their business. So that one was easy to do. So that's why we lost 10 and ended up gaining another 13, because teachers, principals, administrators, they could not get away for an hour lunch for a meeting. But guess what? They're there in that evening club, and I kid them all the time because that's a liquid diet club. That's what I tell them. because they have a tendency to stay well beyond the time because they've had a couple of adult beverages. So they get to socialize a lot. And certainly the one for the professional development, we specifically wanted to figure out how do we get young folks back into Rotary. So that one was rather easy too. And a lot of great things happened with that one, which includes, which was amazing. A lot of the Rotarians from the evening club and the lunch club had their children join that club because they were young professionals. And one including it was my daughter, or is my daughter. She's in it. And we've got several parents that have said, you know what, I want you into this program because they understood the benefit of making their child different from the other leaders that whichever company they work for. So it was
Give them that edge.
And I'll tell you, Jose, what's coming next? Within the next 2 years, we'll have a breakfast club.
At number 2 from his album, Get Members or Die Trying, here's DJ Walter Page with We've Got 99 Problems and Rotary Can Solve Every One. Number 2.
If I had a magic wand and I can wave that wand and fix any problem in our community or in the world that you'd want to fix, what would that be? And it was really cool to see their eyes light up and talk about different things, everything from, mental health to certain problems in the community locally. And the cool thing is that no matter what they said, I could tell them with confidence, Rotary does that. And so they knew right away that they could have an impact. The second thing we did was we had monthly socials, and every month we'd rotate either a whiskey wine tasting or we'd have a party with a purpose, which was a social at either a coffee shop or some type of venue. The venue would kick in money. We would have a cause or a charity that we would already have promoted for that event. And over the course of 4 or 5 months of having those parties with a purpose, we raised over $3,000 and a truckload of supplies for Habitat for Humanity, Meals on Wheels, and other local charities. But in the meantime, they saw that we were a lot of fun. We could bring friends, prospects, and the venue saw us as a group of people that really cared and were making a difference.
Our artist at number 1 has been all over the Rotary world this year on her Red Tea Kettle tour. With its positive vibe and catchy lyrics, this is Jenny from the Club performing Like a Rotarian, your number 1 clip of the year. Number 1.
While Rotary will certainly benefit, what excites me the most is that our communities are going to benefit. Our communities deserve strong, vibrant Rotary clubs, and they depend on us. So I think that this is one more way that we can reach and serve even more people in our communities. We need to grow Rotary because it expands our capacity to do good in the world. And there's a lot of work left to do, right? Until, I always say until every child's fed, until polio is eradicated, until everyone has clean water and all children know how to read, there's a lot of work left for Rotarians to do. And we cannot do it on our own. We can only do it if we expand our capacity.
All right, that's it for this year's countdown. We hope you enjoyed it. And remember, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars. Now, up next is DJ Jose Gonzalez and his Wheels of Steel. Jose, off to you.
Hello, everyone in the Rotary world. I hope you enjoyed the Membership Action Plan Greatest Hits collection for the 24-25 Rotary year. I can share that I, of course, had a great time revisiting some of the best moments in this year's MAP webinars. I'd also like to give a huge round of applause for our incredible DJ, incoming Rotary Membership Coordinator for Zone 33, Chris Justice. Round of applause, sir, for the great job. Now, like most of our MAP webinars, it's time to turn the attention to our audience and open the floor for the Q&A segment. Just like before, if you want your question to be asked of any of our panelists, please use the Q&A function in Zoom. Questions added into the chat box may not be able to be pulled for this segment as it's not monitored in the same manner. And staying on brand and continuing the Greatest Hits theme, I'd like now to invite some of our greatest membership leaders who I can see who are already on screen to serve as our panelists and ask them the burning questions that you all have here today. And they're starting to come in. Kicking us off is a question for our very own Rotary International Director, Patrick Eakes. Patrick, the audience is eager to learn. Of the greatest hits we saw today, which one would you recommend a club prioritize if they're looking to grow their membership?
Thank you, Jose. Yeah, that's a tough one because I heard a bunch of good pearls during that top 10. Three of them kind of jumped out at me that were all, to me, surrounding the same topic of club culture. Herb Klotz, who I did not know had been in the band Roxette. That's even more impressive. He talked about an entrance survey to ask our new members, what do they want about this experience? Connolly Smith talked about the importance of orientation and early education. And Lisa Hazlitt talked about fellowship being at the center of everything we do, and that our own international president had spoken to that. So I think all of that speaks to creating a club culture that will not only attract members, but will hold on to the members we have, and maybe even, spur them to want to bring their friends in. So I sort of cheated there and gave you three, but it's all around that club culture.
And I think everyone would find it of value to get three, and if not, even more in the future. So thank you very much, Patrick. Chris Justice, sir, the next question we have here is for you. And I think we're going to dive into attraction because this one spans into that realm. If clubs are looking for innovative ways to make themselves more attractive for prospective members, what's your top recommendation for attraction?
Thanks, Jose. That's actually a really easy one for me, because I've seen it work so well. I think the number one strategy clubs can implement is Discover Rotary, or the Rotary Information Hour, or whatever you want to call it. I know it works because I've done a ton of them, and here in 7690 we have a little bit of a competition going, with our presenters across the district, and there's I think 5 or 6 of us that, sort of specialize in delivering these Discover Rotaries. So we kind of, keep count of the prospective Rotarians that are in the audience. And, we follow up to find out if they submit applications. And I can tell you our closure rate is north of 70%. If we can get them at the meeting and do an effective Discover Rotary, they're going to join. So for me, I would recommend clubs all eyes on doing effective Discover Rotaries.
Fantastic, Chris. I would strongly agree as well. And if, let's say, someone can't find a personal resource, where can they go to actually find a toolbox filled with everything they need to know about how to implement a successful Discover Rotary?
Sure. The Zone 3334 site has tons of resources, including templates for Discover Rotary. I know that Marion 34 has an amazing template she's willing to share. We've just developed a newer template that we're using in 33 as well that we're willing to share. These are easy to edit. They're concise. We've got them down to Mary will have to help me out with how many she has, but I think the one we've done in 33 is, we're at like 15 slides at this point. Most of them you don't have to edit, and the ones you do have to edit, it's just a drag and drop format to drop some pictures in, and you're good to go.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for sharing, Chris. Terry, welcome to the show, sir. I have a good question here for you that people are eager to hear. You're near the end of your 3-year term for Regional Membership Coordinator. I'm sure you've seen a lot of successful clubs in that time. Do you have any tips, potentially 2 to 3 tips that you'd recommend yourself for our club leaders?
Well, let me share with you some things that I've seen successful clubs do over the last 6 or 8 years that I've been involved with membership, the last 3 of which as your RMC. The first is to set or confirm your club's 25-26 membership goal. Now, that's an easy deal in the Membership Success Center. You just click on Membership Goal and follow the prompts. You get there by logging in through DACDB or Club Runner, and you land on your own club's membership goal page. Just set a goal, and if you've already done that, you can edit your starting forecast. While you're there, there's a place to upload your club membership plan. Now, if you don't have one, that's not a problem. There is another button by which you can download a membership plan template and work from there. It doesn't take a blank sheet of paper. And then, as Chris mentioned, schedule now a Rotary Information Hour, a Rotary Information event for July or August, and then repeat that once a quarter during the year. You'll have time to promote it, you'll have time to prepare for it, and your district membership team will help. And I guarantee you this will work. This is a recipe that's tried and proven by hundreds of clubs, and it's the single strategy that gets you the most new members for the least amount of work. And finally, this is also a good time of the year to plan a membership satisfaction survey. That takes only 3 mouse clicks in the Membership Success Center to create a survey and then propagate it out to your members. Thanks.
Thank you very much for sharing, Terry. I'll tell you, I recently utilized that survey in the Membership Success Center and found it extremely easy to use and got all the results that I was hoping to get. So thank you very much for that.
Great to hear.
Miss Mary, so you've almost accomplished a full year as the Rotary Membership Coordinator now. Any top tips you'd like to add on to what Terry mentioned?
Well, I would ditto what he said, and then I would, a couple of small tips. Use the goal setting feature and tools and resources in the Membership Success Center to determine your goal, and then put that in the RCC when you add all your other goals in there. Very simple. It's really not duplicate work. The second thing I would say is then monitor your progress monthly using the Membership Success Center. If you don't know how you're doing, how are you going to adjust your plans or understand where you need to speed up or do something a little differently? And last, as we frequently say, hope is not a strategy. So you got to have a plan.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Chris Jones, I'm sorry. Chris Jones, you're often on these MAP webinars and been involved since the very beginning. People are interested to learn where can Rotarians find the MAP recordings? Do they live anywhere? Is there somewhere they can go to find every single one from the past 3 years?
Great question, Jose, and to whomever asked that question, thanks so much. You can go to the rizones33-34.org website and type in the search box membership action plan, and all of our past videos are right there, ready for you to take a look at. And it's a great resource, and there's a lot of other great resources on rizones33-34.org as well, including many of the recipes that Terry has mentioned and Mary has mentioned. We have lots of history there, lots of information available. You don't have to reinvent this wheel. You can find the answers that you need right there.
That's great to hear. And Chris Jones, we're going to keep you live because someone's asking a question about the MAP Awards. They're actually interested to hear is if we have an idea as to when we anticipate that club leaders and district leaders would hear about who's accomplished the MAP Awards and what that communication is going to look like.
Those awards are coming soon, and look for some communication to come out from our team on that.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Chris. Now, I know we're not DJing anymore, Chris Justice, but we have someone here that has a request. They're interested to hear, DJ Chris, can I submit a song request for Chicken Banana? Never heard of it myself, but I'm sure you have.
You know, it's funny you say that. I think you're going to hear a lot of Chicken Banana this September. So, I don't want to reveal too much, but just pay attention at Summit.
At Summit. Okay, we'll tell them to pay attention. Thank you very much. Miss Mary, there's a question here indicating for quarterly dues, and there's a hurdle for young professionals. What's the best strategy to implement when working with young professionals and quarterly dues? Is there a price point that makes sense for them, or should we just utilize the same format that we have for a member of an older age?
Oh, well, I think that's up to each club because each club is a bit different. But recognizing young professionals may not have the same resources as those who have been in their careers longer. So I think absolutely it's appropriate to adjust to whatever their needs may be. Sometimes that might be breaking it down into monthly payments as opposed to quarterly, which may be helpful, or just adjusting so that maybe you're not including meals as part of those dues, because as we know, that is the most expensive part of being a member in Rotary.
Yes, ma'am. Our RI Director, Patrick Eakes, we have a question about companion clubs here, and we're hoping you can help us out. The question is that companion clubs are getting more and more popular. Where can I go to get some support to try to create one for my own club?
Well, I would say if you want to create a companion club, we touch base on this North American club creation team. You can certainly be in touch with them through any of the MAP members. You have your district leadership in the form of the district membership chair, and there is a new club development subcommittee chair who specializes in this area. If you are a district leader and you'd like to gain some more support, you have your Rotary membership coordinator team. So lots of areas, and you certainly can go to our zones website and search on companion. You'll find some For instance, some sample bylaws there that you might consider for your club that help integrate the companion club into the sponsoring club. So lots of resources available.
Sounds like there is a plethora of resources out there to help wherever someone may be. Thank you very much, Patrick. So we're going to go jump back to Discover Rotary because Chris Justice, it's a popular topic. The question here is, and it's from Daryl, how do you attract them to come to a Discover Rotary event? Where do you outreach? Also, is there an optimal minimum number who attend to make it look dynamic?
Yeah, both really great questions. As far as the outreach, I think one of the main goals that we can do as districts to help support clubs is to remove as many barriers as possible, right? So, and I think I saw a comment in chat. It was probably referencing something else, but it was talking about seasoned presenters, right? So, the thing that we really focus on is supplying clubs with seasoned presenters for Discover Rotary. What we ask the clubs to do is plan the event. So you can, basically they figure out the venue. They invite, whatever prospective members they want. And in terms of where they get them, I think that's just a traditional approach, right? You ask your membership who would be good members, and who you want to come to Discover Rotary isn't just the prospective members. You want to have, I've seen this done a ton this past year, and I think it's very effective. You want to have some of your newer Rotarians there, because I think a well done Discover Rotary can serve as a really cool continuation of their onboarding process, because some of the stuff they may not have heard yet, right? So it's nice to have them there. Also, some of the more seasoned Rotarians, having them on site is also really good. I think the best ones are probably somewhere between 10 and 20 members, or 10 and 20 participants at a Discover Rotary. Probably gets a little unwieldy north of 20, and maybe not enough energy under 10. But I think 10 to 20 is that sweet spot.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Chris. Miss Mary and Terry, we got one more question for both of you. And this is in reference to attracting members that will make good Rotarians. How do you stress that Rotary is not all about the monetary contributions you can make, but there's also the service aspect, the fellowship? What's the best way to communicate this information with prospective members? And Mary, we'll start with you if you like.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, I think part of it is covered in a Discover Rotary Hour, but also you can talk about it in the onboarding process for new members, and talk about what the club experience is comprised of. We know enjoyable meetings is part of that. Fellowship is part of it. The service, as you talked about it, making connections, personal growth. So all of those things, to me, should be something that a club president and board think about. How are they going to include that throughout the year so that interests in any of those areas are covered, either in meetings or in socials or whatever other activities there may be?
And Terry, anything to answer?
Sure. I think every now and then we kind of get caught in the corp speak of things, and somebody asks, what's Rotary about and what's in it for me? And we start on things like community service and international service, making the world a better place. But for me, the value proposition of Rotary has been the membership itself, being a resource to me in my life, my business, and my family. So I've turned my speech around. When somebody asks me what Rotary is, I say it is an international business networking organization that does community service in our own communities and around the world. And it completely spins the thing, and it speaks to what is in it for them first.
Creating that value proposition of what they're going to benefit out of it outside of just what they're donating in their monetary funds. Thank you very much for that, Terry. Chris, I have one here for you in reference to the club experience, and this is Chris Jones, please. Chris Jones, the club experience comes up regularly. What would you say is vitally important for a club to manage, monitor, and pay attention to when they're trying to create a vibrant club experience? I think we have a couple of items from the greatest hits we can probably discuss, but what are your top?
Yeah, so the greatest hits really covered that pretty well, but I always try to look at things and I start with the Rotary four-way test. As we're looking at our meetings, we need to look at them and put the four-way test into action and think about what is the experience our guests are having. And I'll give you one personal story very quickly. I walked into a Rotary club outside of my district, was visiting. They didn't have any Rotary pins on at that time, and so they didn't know me from anybody. And they welcomed me at the front desk. I walked in, I went to sit down at a table, and was immediately met with, "You can't sit at that seat. That belongs to Joe." And that's Joe's seat. He sits there every week, and you cannot sit there. Not, "Hey, glad to see you." Not, "Can we help you find a seat?" That was my entrance and or my welcome from the club. And that has stuck with me for a very long time. So we really do need to take a look at our clubs introspectively and make sure that all of our guests are receiving white glove service, exactly what you would expect if you were to walk into some place and get the kind of treatment that you're looking for. So every now and then it may pay you to have a secret shopper come in and shop your club and give you some feedback on exactly what they're seeing.
That's a really good idea, Chris. Thank you very much for that. I think I'm going to steal that one. Rip off and duplicate, as we've been told.
Yeah, well, as an incoming club president, I hope you do.
Thank you. Terry, we have a question about your 3 clicks you mentioned. Just 3 clicks. I'm going to guess you're talking about the survey in the Membership Success Center, but can you dive a little bit deeper into the just 3 clicks?
Sure. The survey in the Membership Success Center is completely packaged, and no, it isn't customizable, and that's for a reason. It is so simple to do, and it's been tested across hundreds of Rotary clubs. It was pioneered in Zone 34, and then we brought it into the MSC. It takes 1 click to create the survey. It takes another click to launch it, and then it takes a 3rd click to copy the survey link so that you can distribute that in an email or a text. That's all there is to it. The questions are all figured out, and they're really good questions. And that answer rolls back up into the Membership Success Center. You come back the same place to get the results that you did to launch the survey.
Fantastic. Thank you, Terry. And Patrick, the final question we have here tonight is going to be for you, sir.
Okay.
We're ending the Rotary year at the end of the month. Do you have any final words to share to help our clubs prepare and kick off the coming year strong?
Yeah, here's what I would tell you is that membership is a 12-month-a-year process. We cannot afford to take our foot off the gas. We have to finish strong. And so we should be working, the members who we are attracting, the clubs we're considering forming. There's no reason to wait until July. There's no reason to hold back. Rotary needs us. The world needs us. And we have got to be in the membership business at all times. So I know that my colleagues here, I see some shaking heads. They know it's true too. So let's stay after this. Let's be finished to not only finish the current year strong, but to have momentum going into the next 2025, 2026 year.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for the inspirational words, Patrick. And with that, we're now at the end of the Q&A segment. Thank you to our panelists tonight for enduring the many questions asked of you, and thank you to our audience for maintaining and engaging in active Q&A. Every one of you is what makes this segment so great, so thank you. I hope you all enjoyed our time together and were reminded of at least one great strategy to engage with your members and promote membership growth in your club. Closing us out tonight, we have the serenading voice of District Governor-elect Andy Van Hook. Andy, take it away, sir.
Thank you, President-elect Jose, for moderating our Q&A segment this evening. It was great seeing some of those old hits from earlier in the year. Gave me some reminders of things need to work on. If you've missed any part of this webinar, you can watch by going to rizones33-34.org/membership-action-plan. We want you to succeed. And if you would like help on membership questions, scan the QR code that's on your screen now. Answer a couple of questions, and we'll get back to you. Join us for the next MAP webinar on Monday, July 14th at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, where you'll meet your membership growth tour guides. And as RI Director Patrick said, finish the year strong, kick through the finish line, and begin that momentum for next year. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again on Monday, July 14th.